Friday, May 19th, 2005, and this is the beginning of an interview with Gerald Bolton. Okay. Were you drafted or a volunteer during the Vietnam War?
Half and half. We were ready to get drafted, so a friend of mine and myself pushed our drafts. So we were enlisted.
Okay. Where was your training conducted?
Basic training, went to Fort Jackson, Cambria, South Carolina.
Okay.
Advanced infantry training also there. And then I went to Officer Candidate School in Georgia, Fort Benning. Special Forces School in Fort Bragg, North Carolina.
Okay.
Lots of other places.
Tell us about your boot camp training experience.
One of the more interesting things in boot camp was meeting people from other parts of the state. You know, being from Portage, we're pretty,
Yeah.
or other parts of the country, not the state.
Okay.
But meeting men of the same age from New York and California, just all over the country was an experience.
Okay. What do you
Please
remember?
pardon interruption. Megan Gribben, report to the high school office.
What do you remember about your instructors?
All the instructors I had in the Army were good teachers. They were well versed in what they taught, and they were good.
Okay. And what specialties were you trained?
Infantry.
How long did you spend in Vietnam?
Year.
What duties did you have in Vietnam?
I was psychological civic action officer for a Special Forces A team. And then I was a supply officer the last few months.
All right. What enemy propaganda, if any, did you see or hear?
Leaflets that they would drop,
Mm-hmm.
and signs, posters, things of that nature. We didn't have that blaring loudspeakers or anything like that where I was.
Did you see any combat?
Yes.
Do you have any comments on that?
War is war.
Um,
Real bullets flying there.
yeah. Were there many casualties in your unit?
Yes. Certain times.
What was the military food like?
Good. Military food.
How did soldiers entertain themselves?
Well, when you're in the field, there was no entertainment. You worked. You 24 hours a day, or if you weren't sleeping, you were on duty. But there was a lot of entertainment over there. We had, once I was pulled out of the field and was fly officer, there were bands we had at the clubs, and all sports. We had some outdoor courts, things like that.
Okay. What did you think of your officers and fellow soldiers during the war?
Didn't run into too many bad ones. A lot of good people.
How did you and your fellow soldiers regard enemy troops?
They're the enemy. Not with high regard.
Were you aware of domestic U.S. opposition to the war?
Yes.
If so, what was your reaction to such opposition?
It was early. I went in early, one of the earlier people. The protesting was just getting into full swing when I was getting out, actually. And but you tolerated them. They had the right to say what they wanted to say.
How did you feel about the conduct of the war by the leadership of our country?
Didn't hold them in high regard for their decisions made over there.
Yeah.
What things should have been done that weren't.
What was your reaction when you came home from Vietnam?
There was no reaction. We just landed in a plane in California. You got in another plane heading to Pennsylvania. That was it. There was no fanfare, nobody beating the drum.
Did you have any type of welcome home celebration?
Other than family. That was, not like you see today, the reserve units
Yeah.
coming back. You were on your own. That was it.
Do you keep in touch with any fellow Vietnam?
With anyone that was in,
Vietnam?
no. Well, with me personally, yes, one guy.
Have you attended any reunions?
Not of that particular unit, but I belong to an organization that most of the guys belong to, that were in the same unit I was.
What is your opinion of what the government has done for Vietnam veterans?
I think they've been treated well. There's a lot more to be done. It's not over yet. Vietnam veterans are just turning. I'm on the forefront of the older ones, so I'm 1960, so there's a lot of them that are going to be making requests from the Veterans Administration. You have to belong to veterans organizations to make sure that happens. Keeping our legislators.
Have you visited the Vietnam Memorial in Washington,
Yes.
D.C.?
Yes, I was there when it was dedicated.
What was your reaction
Awesome.
to it? Okay.
It's awesome.
What did you
It's
do?
the most moving memorial in Washington, as far as that goes.
What did you do after the end of your service?
I went to college. I went after.
Do you have any military experience influence you thinking about war or about the military in general?
Now, do I have? Read that again.
How do military experience influence you when you're thinking about war or about the military in general?
Well, we have to watch. Vietnam was a unique event, which I'm sure you're aware of, and we just have to watch that we don't get boiled down in that again. Have to have leadership that's going to be committed and go do what has to be done, or don't go at all.
How did your service and experiences affect your life?
Hard to say. Hard to say. Just military experience was good. I don't have any holes in me. I don't. But you think of it every day. I mean, not a day goes by you don't think of some, especially now with the Iraqi war. I have a son that was over there. And, so you think of it every day. It doesn't. As far as effect, I don't.
Is there anything that you would like to add that we have not covered in this interview?
No, I don't have.
We want to thank you for coming here to interview with us.
And I'd like to thank you guys for doing the project. I think that's a great thing you're doing.
We really appreciate you coming up here.
Okay.